Yeah.
Okay, so what I wanted to show you, because we haven't done this before, is if you go up to the top of the cue card part and click on sharing options or more, you can, at the bottom, it's split screen, and you could pull the screen over and see half the people and half the cue card.
Got it, you guys? All right, so usually a cue card is on a tripod when you walk in to a commercial. And that's why I say next week is our last week, but I'm still doing a second part B of this class with just cue cards, because this is where you're going to have to take it from page to a cue card. The cue card is usually right next to a camera. So when I place you next to the camera, I would suggest you guys get it as close to the left or right side of your lens. Okay?
Right, sure.
Because that's where it's going to be.
Kinds.
That makes sense to you?
Mm-mm.
So, the camera is always here, and the cue card is right next to it, just like it is on mine right now. So the whole trick for all of you is to always, you're going to slate your name into the camera, and I use the cue card as if it's what I'm talking about. So mine's really small, but I would slate my name. Hi, I'm Toni Attell. There are only two kinds of Ford and can't afford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability. So I'm looking at it as if it's a Ford. Do you see what I'm saying? And as long as you take that into camera, does that make sense to all of you? Don't read it. Look, I could take a long time. Hi, I'm Toni Attell. There are only two kinds of cars: Ford and can't afford. Do you see how much time I just took there? But if you keep your energy up and you feel it, you can take as long as you want, but always say your words into camera. Got it? So I'm going to let you guys practice this 3 times, but I do want to tell you, many times you don't get to rehearse it before you walk in. Sometimes they'll have the sides out front, and I'm going to go over that with you that again. When you walk into a commercial, I always say get there a half hour early. Then what you're going to do is you're going to sign. There's what's called a sign-in sheet. It'll say you write your name, and then you write your agent's name or your manager's name, your time in, your time out, and your ethnicity. Now, they're going to ask you for your social security number, you guys. Never, never, never give them your social security number, okay? Just write on file. Because actually they're supposed to tear up all those sheets and throw them away, but they don't. They don't. So you don't want somebody going into the garbage, right, and pulling out your name and social security number. Does that make sense? So never give it to them. I always say I sign in, because if you don't sign in right away, you could be sitting at the audition for an hour and a half. You don't want to do that, because then you've gone over the commercial so much you're dead. So you want to read it through 3 or 4 times, put it down, don't talk to anybody, relax, see where your name is on the list, sit down, and when there's about 3 people in front of you, then go over it again, okay? So turn on your mics right now, all of you, and do it 3 different ways. This is the easiest one you're ever going to get from me. Turn your mics on. Turn your mics on so I can hear you. All right. 3 different ways, guys.
There are only
There are
two.
only two
Two kinds of cars.
Ford.
Ford
Can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't
Dependability
afford
and
not to buy
style.
a Ford.
Can't afford.
You can't afford
not to buy a
Can't
Ford.
afford a car.
Can't afford
Last word.
You can't afford a car.
The last word.
Can't afford not to buy
Or
it.
can't afford.
Affordability.
Looking for
Only two kinds of
safety.
Can't
cars.
afford.
Only 2 kinds of cars.
Afford.
Looking for safety, dependability.
You can't afford.
Only 2 kinds of
Dependability
cars.
and style.
Ford
Can't afford
can't
not to
afford.
buy a Ford.
Can't afford.
You're looking for
Can't
safety,
afford a
The
Ford.
last word
dependability,
in
and style.
Can't afford a car.
Can't afford not to buy a Ford.
Affordability.
Can't afford a Ford.
Last
There are only
word
two
in
kinds of
Can't afford a
affordability.
car.
contract.
Ford.
Ford.
Looking for
Can't
safety.
afford
Last word in
Affordability and
affordability.
style.
There
You
are only
can't
2
afford
kinds of
not
cars.
to buy a
Ford.
Only 2 kinds of
You're
cars.
looking for
Ford.
safety,
car.
dependability.
Affordability.
The last
Can't
word.
afford
Not
to
to buy
buy
a Ford.
Only 2 kinds of
Can't
cars.
afford a
Ford
Ford.
and
Not
Ford.
a Ford.
You can't afford a
For
car.
safety,
Word in
Not to buy
dependability, and
Can't afford
style,
a car.
you can't afford to buy a
Can't
car.
afford.
You can't buy.
You can't afford a
Last
Ford.
word in
There are
affordability.
only 2
Can't
kinds of
afford.
cars. Ford and can't
Not
afford.
to buy a Ford.
And
There are
Looking
only
for
two
Afford a
kinds of
Ford.
cars.
dependability,
Can't afford a car.
ability.
style,
Ford.
Last
afford
word.
not to buy a
Affordability.
Ford.
Can't
Can't afford a Ford. Can't afford a car.
If you're looking for safety,
The last word is
There are only,
affordability.
and style,
there are only two.
There are only 2 kinds of cars.
can't
Ford
afford not to buy
Can't
it.
can't
afford.
afford.
If you're
You're
looking
looking for
for
safety,
Can't
dependability,
afford
and
not to buy
style.
it.
You can't afford not to buy a Ford.
Can't afford a
and
Ford.
Can't afford a Ford.
you can't afford
You can't afford a
buy
car.
Ford.
Word in
Ford.
Last word.
Last word in
If you can't afford
affordability.
a Ford, you can afford a car.
There are only 2 kinds of cars.
Okay.
Ford
The
and
last word
affordability.
Riley, have you gone through this at all? I have
Yeah.
not heard your voice, Riley.
I've done it 3 times.
You have. Polina, I'm pleased you're eating breakfast or whatever it is you're eating, but I haven't seen you even go through this commercial.
I was repeating it in my head.
Well, I love you to death. I think you're the cutest thing since I had you in my class. But the worst thing to do is do it in your head. Because you know what happens, you guys? Then you open your mouth and it goes blah, blah, blah. The reason I have you do it 3 times is I want you to get your mouth moving. And sometimes even doing it and exaggerating it is really a terrific way to get your mouth moving. There are only 2 kinds of cars. Seriously, it really helps you enunciate, okay? So let's bring up Andy. Everybody turn off your video. I'm going to bring up Andy really clear. Sandy, I don't need Alicia, so I'm going to get rid of the commercial because I don't need it.
Okay.
I already know it. So I'm just, how do I get it off my computer?
You can't because I'm sharing it.
Okay.
But you can drag the thingy all the way.
I
Over.
have.
Okay.
I have. Polina, can you turn off your camera? Alicia, turn off your camera. Thank you, sweetheart.
Oh.
All right.
There
Yeah,
we go.
just there you go. All right. Here we go. All right. I want you to slate your name and I want you to give me profile and profile, okay?
Okay. Hi, my name is Andy Karnick.
All right, Andy, I'm going to have you do it again. Why?
I didn't do something right.
You didn't smile.
Oh, I thought I did.
And you've got
Okay.
great teeth, so come on.
Okay. Hi, my name is Andy Karnick.
All right, whenever you're ready. Action.
There are only 2 kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
That was excellent. Now, here's the problem we're going to have with this, you guys. How do you make such a short cue card 30 seconds. So the only thing I can think, because I never saw this commercial, is that they're showing a car. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. So I'm going to time you. Let's see if you can do it in 30 seconds. I know this is kind of hard. I don't know how. Maybe this is a 15-second commercial. Let's see. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
Not bad. That was 22 seconds.
Okay.
So do you think you can just fill it in with your energy by taking a little bit more time?
I can do that, yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me just oh, stop. Reset. Okay. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
23 seconds. So here's what I'm suggesting. Attitude. Remember how I told you many commercials, you guys are attitude? So this one, I think, Andy, you can gesture in.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, if you can't do that, then you can't do this. And that'll help you eat up some of this time. Okay, so pull back from the camera a little bit.
Okay.
So I can see your hands. All right?
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on. I hate this. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
Still the same amount. And I'll tell you what's upsetting me. Andy, this is the first time I've seen you do it. You did not look into camera.
Okay.
You were reading the whole time. And that was 23 seconds. You got it. Just make it go a little bit longer, okay?
Okay.
But look into camera no matter what.
Okay.
And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
All right, let's see if we can do this in 15 seconds because it seems like we're really dragging it out to 30. Do you think you can do it in 15?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
19 seconds.
Okay.
Can you make it faster?
Speed it up a little bit. Okay.
And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
17 seconds. So that's pretty darn good. All right, honey. Next, let's bring up Alicia. Okay. Okay. Look into camera, Alicia.
It's wild.
I know. It does look a little wild. It looks like you were hit for a second with something.
I curled it and then it all just fell out.
Oh, yeah. The humidity is terrible today. Okay, honey. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and not a Ford. Oh, wait. You know, I was thinking, I had a question for you. Do you want me to do this 15 seconds or 30 seconds? Which way do you want it?
15.
Okay,
Because
Okay,
it's not a 30-second commercial. It can't.
okay.
And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
It was really good, Alicia, except where you see your eyes are looking down right now.
Mhm.
What were they looking at?
Down at over at the sheet. So
Yeah.
I need to.
So is the sheet lying straight flat in front of you?
It's just here a little bit.
Okay, but don't look down. Look
Okay.
into camera. Okay, so I'm going to record you now.
Okay.
And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
Okay, you did
Okay.
22 seconds.
Okay,
So
and then I looked around too.
yeah, and you looked
One more.
around.
Okay,
And
let me have one more.
smile and look into no, come on.
Okay, yeah, I know. I want to be sincere but friendly.
Yeah, friendly. I mean, but it's also a little bit of attitude in this. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You can't
I'm telling them what to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
But nicely. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for style, dependability, and safety, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
All right. Well, that was not good.
Okay.
That was 21 seconds.
And I messed up the sentence and I couldn't remember what that word, the last word in affordability. Okay.
But your eyes are looking all over the place.
Yeah.
I can't let you do that. All right. So look into camera. Take it from the cue card, but say it into camera.
Okay.
All right. And attitude. Come on. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. There you go. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and reliability, and so style, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Oh God. I just have to look.
All right, Alicia.
Eyes down.
Honey,
Okay.
you can look, but why are you looking down? I thought you said it was to the left of you.
They're right over here. Okay.
Can you hold it? Can you hold it?
I've got it. I've got it up here now.
Yeah, put it right under your camera.
Okay.
Okay. All right, sweetheart. And just hold on a second. Action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
Good. That was 17 seconds. I'll buy it.
Okay.
All right. You're getting better. All right. Let's bring up Polina before she falls asleep. What was it? Were you eating spaghetti?
Yeah.
But was it a whole wheat spaghetti? Because it was very dark.
Yeah. It's whole wheat spaghetti.
Oh, okay. All right, sweetheart. All right. So slate your name and give me profile and profile.
Name and a surname? Yeah. Name and a surname. That was a stupid question. So fine. Okay. Polina Kaftan.
Okay. And whenever you're ready, sweetheart.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you are looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
That was really good, but you were looking down. Where's your camera?
My camera is here and I was reading.
Yeah, there's your camera. Where do you have the sides? You're looking down.
I don't know, it's right on the screen. So I'm
Good.
reading on the screen.
But I don't want you to read it. I want you to look into camera and make me believe you're just talking to me.
Okay, I'll try one more
I
time.
know you'll do it. I know your work. Come on. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
That was pretty good. Now, can we bring some excitement to this? And I'm gonna film you. I'm gonna time you. See, I want
Okay.
that cute personality. I want that smile. I love that smile. Give me that smile. I need it. You look at that. Here we go. You're so cute. All right, here we go. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for
Where are you looking? With those big brown eyes, you were not. You weren't doing that though, Missy. All right, you gotta look into camera. And action.
there are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
Pretty darn good, except you went 20 seconds. So I want to get you down to 15 seconds. So can you pick up your pace a little bit, sweetie?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, you ready? And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
Okay, 18 seconds, I'll buy it. I'll buy it. That was really cute. And you did something that I really liked, you guys. She hit, if you can't afford, you can't afford a car. It's some stupid writer thinking that he's making a joke out of afford and Ford. And I like the way you hit it because I got the joke. Do you know what I mean? So that's really good, Polina. Good work, honey. All right, let's bring up Noelle.
Can you see me?
I can.
Okay, I cannot see myself, but it's okay. I'm just gonna keep the text.
Oops. There you go. And it's nice color on you. I like it. I like the
Oh, you can-
coloring. Yeah, this is really, the camera looks really good on you tonight with the colors and the light in this room.
Thank you. It's because yeah, thank you.
What did you do different?
Yeah, the lighting and I
Yes,
changed my
it's
computer.
much nicer. All right, I want you to slate your name and give me profile and profile.
Okay. Hey, my name is Noelle Redew.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
I do 15 or 30.
I think it's got to be 15. There's no way this could be a 30-second commercial.
Okay, cool.
And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, durability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford. The last word in affordability.
That was really good, but it really looked to me like you hated Fords.
Like I hated Ford.
Yeah.
It's so hard to say Ford because the R is hard.
Yeah, but you did it really well. So why don't we use that French, kind of, you know how French people can be kind of pompous about certain things?
How it can be what?
You know, kind of pompous, like, you know,
Pompous? I don't know.
what it means, like aloof. Like, oh my God, if you can't afford a Ford,
Ah,
you can't even afford, you know, a skateboard. You know what I
okay.
mean? I think that'd be a cute character for you. So
Okay.
let's do that. And hold on, I'm going to time you this time. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, durability, and style, ah, putain. Pardon.
What was wrong? It was good.
I messed up the word and it messed up my whole thing. Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you were also at 15 seconds already there, so you've got to speed it up a bit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And for you, that should be easy because you talk fast anyway. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Almost ready? And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for durability, safety, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
Okay, we're going to do it again. You're at 19 seconds. I think you can do it at 15.
I can't do it.
I think you can. All right. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for dependability, style, and safety, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
16 seconds. Good girl. Right there. Right there. Yay. Okay. Woo-hoo. Let's bring up Eva. Eva.
Hi.
Hi, sweetheart. Is there anything that you need to ask me about? Oh, I like this color. So what is that, a soft blue over it, right?
Yes, it's just my,
Oh, it's your bathrobe.
yes, bathrobe.
But you know, I like those two colors on you. It's soft. You look good in pastels. These are nice pastel colors.
Thank
Okay. Okay, sweetheart. Whenever you're ready.
you. Do I need to introduce myself and profile?
Yes, please. I didn't have Alicia do it. That's my fault, but I need for you guys to do it.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eva Liu.
And action.
There are only two kinds of car, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
You were so perfect. That was pretty close. All right, so I don't know what you were doing, but it felt like you almost felt
I
pity.
remembered. I remembered.
Yeah, it was, but it's almost like you felt pity for someone who couldn't buy a Ford. It was cute. I mean, I like that attitude. It was, you know, it was good.
Mm.
Okay. So hold on, I'm gonna time you here. You ready? 15 seconds, all right?
Yes.
And action.
There are only two kinds of car, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
You know, you did 17, almost 18 seconds. I want you to do it again. Just, can you speed it up a little bit?
Sure.
I think you can do 15 seconds, Eva.
Okay.
But keep it the way you're doing it. I really like, it's very gentle and soft the way you're doing it. I really like that. All right?
Yes.
So hold on, and action.
There are only two kinds of car, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
16 seconds. Very good. Good. That was excellent, Eva, and I like the way you did it. Good
Thank you.
girl. All right, let's bring up Sandra. Sandy? Come on in, Sandy. Sandy Scheller. All right. Sandy's not there. Let's
Here I
bring
am.
it,
What happened is I lost myself.
but you're not coming up on my screen, honey.
Okay, let me see why.
From, I don't see
video.
anyone.
When she turns her video on, she'll come back up. Okay.
All right. Alicia, maybe let's bring up Danny because I think she went out. Danny, come on up. Danny, what's happening? Where are my people? Danny, come on up. Okay.
I can go if you want.
Yeah. Riley, thank you. Thank
Oh.
you, Riley.
Right,
There
Danny's
you
here.
go. No,
Yeah,
Riley, it's okay. Let's go with
Okay.
Riley.
Okay.
All right.
And my
Yes,
profile.
you're gonna slate your name and give me profile and profile.
Okay. Hi, my name is Riley Introcaso.
Okay, Riley. Action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
You know, that was very talented, Riley. The only thing was I didn't feel anything. And you looked to me like you'd be a car guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, like I almost see this like you in a 50s jacket, you know, your hair slicked back, standing against a Ford with a cigarette hanging out of your mouth, you know, the young cruiser.
Yeah.
So I think we need attitude from you. You know, it's like, you know what you're talking about cars, and this is a good deal. So let me have you do that again.
There.
Yeah.
Okay.
And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
That was really good. You know, you're very good about taking my direction. So I'm very grateful to you for it. You could even have a little bit more attitude if you want.
Yeah.
I really like that.
I think I'm thinking
All right.
about the timing as well, the 15 seconds, but
Yeah, yeah. Well, but you're a good actor, so I know you can give me the attitude and the 15 seconds. So
Yes.
I'm going to time you now. let's see. Okay. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
15 seconds.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I
But I'm
stumbled
gonna,
a little bit in 1 second.
yeah, you did. That's why I'm gonna film you again. But I really like the attitude. Give me even more.
Jeez.
Come on, dude.
Let's see.
All right. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
16 seconds. That was really cool. Good
Okay.
work. Good work. Thank you for taking my direction. That was really cool. I mean, I can see you playing that kind of character, Riley.
Yeah, I think I could still go further with it too as well. But
What, you want to try it again?
oh no, I mean, I'm just saying if like I was, actually shooting.
Doing it.
Yeah.
Shooting it against, because I could see you, just, you're definitely a perfect character for, movies. You really have that look. All right, so let's bring up Sandy.
Okay.
There, honey, are you having a problem?
It is weird. Okay. Can you see me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you are.
That is the weirdest thing. The whole gallery disappeared.
Sometimes that'll happen, Sandy. And I don't think any of us can explain why. Your skin looks real pretty.
Thank you.
Really nice. Really nice. Is there any way, I don't like the way the light is on you right now. It was nicer before. That's a little bit better. You don't have a front light at all, huh?
No, I don't have
You
one.
think next week you could get oh, okay, that's good. Just leave it there. That's a little bit better.
Okay.
All right. All right. Can you see the cue card and everything?
Yes.
All right. So I want you to slate your name, honey.
Can I wear glasses or no?
Yeah, I like your glasses. I want you to do profile and profile, but do me a favor.
Yes.
Do you need your glasses to read, or do you just wear them for
Read.
fun?
I need them to read, but
No,
I'll see if I can do it.
no. Let me finish. So what I would suggest is slate your name without the glasses so
Okay.
they can see you both ways. And then when you go to do the commercial, put them back on.
Okay.
Does that make sense? All right.
Okay.
So slate your name, please.
Hi, I'm Sandra Scheller.
Profile. Profile. Good. All right, now put on your glasses and action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. And if you are looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a car, if you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
Well, that's jumping to the end, huh? All right, let's start again. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. And if you're looking for dependability,
No,
style,
I'm going to stop you. You know what's throwing you off, honey? You're saying the word and.
okay.
See, that's going to throw you way off.
Okay.
And start again.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. And if you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
Nicely done, Sandy. I like your voice on it too. Your voice is really, really nice. So now I'm going to tape you. I'm going to time you. Ready for it?
Yeah.
All right. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. And if you were looking, I said the And
Yeah. You know, the thing is, with these kind of little diddy poos, if you insert a word, it'll throw you way
oh,
off.
I believe it.
Yeah. So that's what I think threw you off the other time. So let's start
Okay.
again. And
Sorry,
action.
everybody.
Okay, don't be sorry. This is what it's about. When we get into longer ones, you're going to see. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. And if you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
Okay, it's almost 20 seconds. So
Ouch.
I want you to, it's okay. It's okay. Just speed it up now. You've got it all together. I just need you, now to speed it a little bit. And ready? And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
15 and a half seconds. Right on, girl. Woo! And I really like how your voice is coming out, Sandy. You have a very soothing voice. And it's interesting, today, I had this vision of you sitting, when I came to your house, sitting in your kitchen, and Sandy has really delicate fingers. And I was watching you make a necklace. I think it was for me. You were making me a necklace after I had my operation. And I had this vision of you this morning
Oh my
with your
God.
hands so nimble and so petite, making the necklace. Yeah, it was really pretty to watch. Anyway, I just thought I'd let you know.
Thank you.
All right, let's bring up Angel. Turn off your camera, Sandy. There you go, sweetheart. Oh, did you change what you're wearing?
No.
Your eyes are amazing. They're a kind of a sea green, aren't they? Or sea blue.
Yeah, blue, I think.
Really pretty. Really, really pretty.
Thank you.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, give me, your head's kind of cut off a little bit, Angel. Yeah, there you go. Very nice. All right, slate your name and profile.
Hi, I'm Angel Hess.
And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
So you cracked me up. You had it so friggin' perfect, and you lost that last line. And I have to laugh because that's happened to me so many times where I'm just da-da-da-da. I know I'm just sailing, and then it's like, oh my God, what's the last line? So look at the last line now. Make sure you have it, and let's do it again. It was really cute what you did. Let's do it again. I liked exactly how you did it. It was very charming. I think the only thing I liked you kind of being a little aloof, and I wouldn't mind you being a little bit more aloof. It was
What is
very
aloof?
kind of feminine, like, come on, guys, get a Ford. Yeah. All right, here we go. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
Now, I really like, you did something really cool there. You hit a certain word. You said safety. Was it safety, style? What is it? What's the line?
Safety, dependability, and style.
Yes. And now you guys watch when I film her now, when I time her, and style. She added that, she hit and style, making a point there, which I really think made this commercial work even better. So good work, Angel. Hold on. Now I'm going to time you just a minute. Ready and action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and Counterford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style,
Let's stop again. No. I
there are
don't.
only two kinds of cars, Ford and Counterford. If you're looking for safety and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. You can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Okay.
All right. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and Counterford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
16 seconds. That was beautiful. And I really like the way you did it. Really, really nice. And I thank you for it. All right, let's bring on Danny.
Thank you.
Oh, Angel, good work, honey.
Can you hear me? Everything disappeared. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but where are you?
I clicked unmute and then everything disappeared again. This happens
So-
every time we switch actors. So, oh,
Go
okay,
to the
hold
left.
on.
Go to the left and hit start video.
Okay.
There
Okay,
you go.
now it's back to the regular screen and I don't see the script. Okay, wait. Okay.
Hold on.
Okay, there we go. Okay. I don't know why I have so much trouble with this thing, but
Danny, don't worry about it. Do you know what I mean? It's like minor crap.
yeah,
You need to really worry about. But where is it on your screen now? Just so I know. I don't want you to look yeah, I don't want you to look too far to your right.
The script is right in the center.
All right, good.
Yeah.
All right,
so
but you got to look, at camera.
I might
all
be
right.
able to do this without my glasses too, so I'll give it a shot.
All right, slate your name and give me profile and profile.
Okay. Hi, my name is Danny McGowan.
Excellent. All right, Danny, whenever you're ready, and action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and Canterford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
Okay, Danny, that was really, really talented. But now I want you to have an attitude. You're a guy who works in a garage, camera's coming in on you, you've just pulled out from under a car, you're working on a Ford, you know how fabulous they are. So make your point, okay?
Okay.
And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and Canterford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
That was so good. Now you're going to have to bring up the rhythm. But that was what I wanted. That's just what I wanted. Okay, so got to make it faster now, Danny.
Okay, all right.
And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and Canterford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
All right, I'm going to have you do it again because you had a couple of
Yeah, kind of stumbled
there.
a little bit. Yeah.
I think you would have hit 15 if you didn't have a couple of those words. So let's try it one more time. And look at the camera and action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and Canterford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
16 seconds. Good lad.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, that was really good. Good work. Okay, let's bring up Ken. Good. Boy, I'm really proud of you guys. You're all starting to get 30 seconds, 15 seconds. It's not easy. But once you start doing it 3, 4, 5 times, you'll automatically always know what 15 seconds is, what 30 seconds is, what 45 seconds is. All right. I want you to slate your name, Ken, and give me profile and profile.
Hi, my name is Kenneth Fu.
All right, Kenneth. Here we go.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy the Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
Well, that was nice, Ken. That was actually quite nice. I almost want you to think that you're someone who sells cars.
Mhm.
And you know, I like, because that's what I got from you anyway. I liked how you listed, you know, this, and this. I liked your attitude on that. And
Okay. Mhm.
I remember going in to buy a car one time and the guy saying to me, well, you can't afford this. And the minute the mother said that to me, I bought the car. You know, and that's the feeling I'm getting from you, and I like it. Do you know, so
Okay.
it's like reverse psychology.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm going to time you now. Hold on, just a minute. Hold on, and action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
Pretty good. 18 seconds. I think you can do it in 15.
15. Okay.
All right, you ready?
All right.
And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy the Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
17 seconds. Pretty darn good.
Oh.
Yeah. You seem surprised.
Mm-hmm. No, I seem surprised because I thought I was a 13.
Well, that goes to show you we never know what we're doing, eh? So is that everybody? Have I missed somebody? Have everybody come back? Have I missed anybody? Noel, Maria. Did we do Maria? Maria, did I do you?
No.
Well, come on. Let's bring Maria on. Let's get my little Maria.
Can I get the lines back, please?
There they are.
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you.
Eva, turn off your computer. Oh, look at Eva. You're yawning. That's so sweet. Okay. So now, Maria, you're a beautiful girl. And every time you get ready to do camera, you mess with your hair. I don't want you to do it anymore, because what happens is if I let you do it here, baby, you'll do it in a casting director's office just automatically. They hate it. They just hate it. I don't know why, but that's the one thing casting directors tell me. So I'm just going to be on your case a little bit so you stop doing it. But the way you've got your camera set up is beautiful now. Now I see you're looking into it. All right. So I want you to slate your name and give me profile and profile.
Okay. Give me 1 second. This is my turn. Quiet, please. Thank you. Thanks. Sorry. Okay.
What did you just do with your hair?
Did I touch it again?
Yes, you did, baby. So I'm going to be on your case about it because I just don't want you to do it.
Yeah,
You
I
what I'm
know.
saying? I know,
Yeah.
Maria, but, and it's not your fault. It's nothing bad. It's nothing negative. But we all have our little isms, but I can't let you keep doing it. So please forgive me. I'll just always say it and stop you, okay?
Yeah, thank you very much. I know, like, I have this habit. I always touch my hair. Like when I'm nervous or something, I always
Okay.
Okay.
It's okay,
No
sweetheart.
touching.
No touching, baby. And slate your name.
Hi, my name is Maria Mitt.
Lovely. And whenever you're ready, Maria.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last name in affordability.
And you screwed up the last line.
Ford, the last word in affordability. What did I say?
The last name in affordability.
No, it says the last word in affordability. I said the last name. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It was cute. It was cute. So I liked what you did, but you're going to, before I time you, you've got to speed it up a little bit, okay?
Okay.
So let's do another rehearsal of it. A little bit faster.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Ah! I touched my hair again. Jesus.
Stop it. Stop it.
Okay.
You know, the good news is, Maria, is that once I bring it up, your brain and your coordination will stop you now.
Yeah.
Okay. And action.
There are only two kind of cars. I'll do it over again. I'm sorry.
No. I want you to speed it up a bit, okay? Here we go.
Speed it up.
Yeah, and action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for affordability, style,
All right, it's okay. Maria,
sorry.
Maria, don't be sorry, sweetheart. Just take a deep breath with me. Take a deep breath in and let it out of your mouth. Let it out of your mouth. Take another deep breath in your nose. Let it out of your mouth. And one more time, a deep breath in. One more time. Deep breath in through your nose and let it out through your mouth. Good.
Okay. Okay.
All right, sweetheart. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
Oh, that was so nice. Really, really good. All right, so now I'm going to time you. All right. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. Ford, the last word in affordability. I messed up the lines.
You just dropped a whole bunch. That's okay. We're going to do it again.
I knew I was doing it, but okay. I'll do it once more.
Here's the deal, you guys. By me kind of setting a timer on you, what I'm trying to do is teach you guys to still keep your cool. Because if you get flustered at yourself and you're already, you've already got the commercial and you're on a set, and trust me, you will get flustered. You got to keep your cool, because if you get flustered, then you get pissed. If you get pissed, then you get angry at yourself. If you get angry at yourself, you'll never do it right.
I thought you were not watching.
I'm watching you. I'm watching you like a mother. All right.
Okay.
Hold on. You're going to start again. And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. If you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word in affordability.
You got to do it again. Good night, Eva. We love you.
Good night. I love you back.
See you next week, sweetie pie.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, I want you to do it again. It went too long. Just pick up the pace, okay?
Okay.
And action.
There are only two kinds of cars, Ford and can't afford. If you're looking for safety, dependability, and style, you can't afford not to buy a Ford. Because if you can't afford a Ford, you can't afford a car. Ford, the last word on affordability.
I'll buy it, 16 seconds. And if you had not added the word and, you would have had it at 15 seconds.